You know what time it is?
Hey guys, it's me CriticalCubing, and today we are going to see what we can learn from Feliks's latest 3-second solve. So this is the same scramble as the one that Feliks got, and we are going to see what we can learn from the scramble. Now Feliks is a color neutral solver, so he did green cross for this scramble. The main thing that you can see in this scramble are the two big blocks, the orange and blue block and the green and red block. Now you can use these blocks on any of the four colors, green, red, orange or blue, to make an X cross, but Feliks did the green cross. So let's check it out. So in the green cross, the cross pieces are all nicely placed together. You can get the green and red together in a relative position just by doing one single move like that. And you can get the orange and white also placed with an F and an R2. So the cross was pretty easy. One good thing about the scramble was also this huge block. So once you have put this down, right, you can create an X cross just by putting this edge in. So when you do a D move, if you just have this edge, you have an F12 pair and you have an X cross. So in this scramble, this edge was also conveniently placed at the back, which can be placed with one move like that. So Feliks did an X cross for the scramble, and the X cross was pretty easy with just two moves and the third move for making your cross pieces come together. So first you are going to place this down, right? Because if you put this edge first and then place it down, then the edge will just come from this position to this position, which you don't want. So you just want to place this down first and then this, which essentially is just putting this edge and corner piece down and putting the X cross edge back in, and then you move this aside to create your nice 2x2 Petrus block or the X cross, and then inserting these two is pretty easy, FR2. Now Feliks also had a pretty fluid cross to F12 transition, so it makes me think that he must have seen his first F12 pair also while doing the inspection. So we have this corner right in the front, which I think he must have seen, and the corresponding edge is at the back. So we can see that once you have put this corner and edge block down and you have put this down, this edge will come to the top in here like that, and then you have to do an F, which puts this corner in the bottom in here, and you have to do an R2, which puts this corner at the back with the green facing towards the back. So these two, after doing the cross, will be in this position and this position. So the first pair was also out for him during the inspection, which gave him a pretty fluid cross to F12 transition like that. So he did the cross like that. Now in here we have a couple of pairs. We have this back pair, which I think he must have seen in the inspection. We have these two pairs also in here. Now here Feliks did a rotation and an U prime, which can be conveniently done like this, which is what he did. So doing it with the thumb like this, and it makes me think that he probably did that so as to not disturb this edge, because if he broke these two pair apart like this, then the edge gets put in the top layer, which is not probably what he wanted. So he did a rotation and a U prime and then solved this edge at the back like this. Now for the next pair, he did a classic keyhole. So whenever you have a lone edge or a lone corner and you have an empty slot, you have an opportunity to do the keyhole method, which is what he did for this pair. He just took this edge out, got this corner slot in place of the empty slot, and then just inserted this back in and D prime, which was a nice way to insert this F12 pair instead of doing something else. Keyhole inserts are also generally pretty fast, like that. So yeah, he did the third pair with a keyhole, and then lastly he had these two pairs, which can be paired pretty easily with an F prime U prime F. So he did the U prime to set up this corner, and then did an F prime E prime F to pair these two up. Now he did something pretty interesting in this case, which made this solve a 3-second solve and not a 5-second solve. Now most of the people in general would probably insert this normally and do your ZBLL or COLL or some last layer variant, or from here you will do your winter variation to get an OLL skip. What Feliks did here is that he inserted this last pair with a sledgehammer. Now you may think that this is a bit irrational / illogical, because why would you not want to have a cross on top? You have some last slot subsets also, which makes the cross on top while you are inserting this last pair. So why would you not want to do that? It's basically because he probably had foreseen that if he inserted this with a sledgehammer, you would unflip these two edges and this corner would be at the back, so you get a nice P shape. General P shapes are normally 6 moves, so yeah, 6 move OLL is pretty good to have in a solve, which is what he did. He got this nice P shape for which the solution is only 6 moves, and he did that, and he got a PLL skip, which is quite easy to recognize because you have both of these sides fully solved, and you can just do a U prime and your solve is done. So the solve uses inspection wisely, and he had a fluid smooth solve because his look ahead was just that much good. He also did a pretty nice last layer, getting a PLL skip. So what can we learn from this solve? The main thing that stuck to me from that solve was the fluidity that he had. So it makes me think that instead of doing your F12 really fast with pauses, you want your F12 to be slow and fluid with less number of pauses, because your pauses do add up in the end. So here's a normal hand scramble that I just now did, and instead of doing your pairs really fast and then pausing and then looking at something else and then doing it really fast as well, this pause adds up at the end of your solve. So if you did this pair in 1 second and this pair in 1 second, and you paused for like 3 seconds in between, then your whole F12, like solving these two 1 second, 1 second and 3 second pause, gives you an 5 second F12, which is bad. If you can solve this F12 in 2 seconds and this in 2 seconds without pauses, and you will get a shorter F12 of 4 seconds than otherwise of 5 seconds. So you do want to pause less and have good and fluid look ahead, and only want to turn as fast as your brain can process. That's the main thing that stuck to me. Other thing was that use your inspection wisely and look ahead into your solve as much as you can during that 15 seconds. Because just knowing where your first F12 pair will end up will give you a further look ahead into your solve than just knowing how to solve your cross. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and have a good day ahead. Bye.